I think it's a very complicated situation. I mean, on the video, it's like I hear many things about it's the Muslims who are a problem, and it's like conspiracies. But I think we have to discuss it in different areas. First of all, I don't think that we can mention that Muslims are terrorists. It looks like Muslims is like a kind of a political movement and things like this. I was in Brussels when the attack happened. I went to the memorial, as you saw when the candles. What I was noticed is that there were also a lot of Muslims there, actually also afraid on what is happening, because there were also Muslims killed in the attack. And they, one person that I spoke to, and I was speaking with the people there, and I think that's the first thing to reach out, saying like, well, I'm afraid also because we are double afraid, because we are seen as to be blamed. Well, I did not do this. So this is one thing. It's about Muslims and about terrorism. There is a problem concerning to the integration. We're talking about finding the integration of different cultures in a society. And I think that should be a little bit more strict and more attentive. For example, in Amsterdam, I know that there is a project in the Bijlmer, which is the area where the most allochthone population are living, or foreigners are living. And you see that the police actually are developing, have a program with schools and with communities there, and they created a kind of a level of trust. So with families and people, if they notice things are going wrong or there are terrorists there, that they can actually have the freedom also to tell this to the police. So the police is not like the enemy. And that's also a problem that happened in Belgium, that the police was very strong and seeing like a kind of, again, so I'm a little bit thinking like, well, what is the relations between the Muslims, the immigrations? Many of the terrorist attackers were actually born in the country, so they were not coming from the refugees. That's one of the things that we also need to know. So many people were born who are doing this attack, but they were based on the propaganda on social medias of IS and so on. They were attracted to go to Syria, to those camps and so on, in order to learn how to fight. Many refugees are actually running away from the same problems as that we are facing. So I'm a little bit careful to put, okay, immigration is the problem, there are the terrorists are coming from. No. If they have a possibility to use the immigration flows in order to create a kind of a way to get the terrorists in, that might be a problem. But I mean, but we have the problems of, for example, of the adaptation. I'm thinking also there is another issue is that, for example, in many Open Doors from Germany, they made a report about the situation of Christians in refugee camps in Europe. They have also a lot of discrimination and dealing on the situation. So yes, there is a problem. There is a lot of fear. How can we deal as Christians? As Christians, I mean, people are coming, if they are coming from war areas, we should help them. That's also as we then treat is with them. In the same moment, you try to get the security and the collaboration and fight against terrorism. Because in Belgium, there was a lot of things that went wrong on the European collaboration also. So the attacker was who did these attacks, he could go away. He was for previous criminality, he was convicted, then he went away, he could go to the Netherlands. There was no collaboration of the truth, there was no sharing of information and so on. So I'm think like, yes, there is a problem, but the problem is if we are blaming the Muslims for it, you create actually more like fear and infrastructures that terrorism can flourish more and more. So I'm more a little bit like careful of having the Muslims, as a religion. Being this, I have Muslim friends also in Belgium who actually are completely against all these issues, and if they would see anything that they would avoid that also. So this is the balance that I see that we should feel.